Hello, do you have trouble contacting or communicating with your landscaper? This video is about some of the bottlenecks in our industry that are common that get run into, and which is why you don't hear from your landscaper. Now, as a growing business, we've run into these issues and we've learned ways to mitigate them, but we noticed that a lot of our competitors aren't always able to curb these bottlenecks. And I wanted to quickly go over them with you so as a customer, from your experience, you can kind of maybe understand maybe why you're running into these issues and you just wonder why you can't communicate with your landscaper. It's pretty common in a lot of contracting businesses to run into these problems, but these are specific to landscaping. My name is Eli Hall. I'm with AMS Landscaping, and these are the 5 most common things that we run into with our competitors. The first thing is their one-truck operations. So if they don't have an answering service or somebody that answers their phone at home for them, they're just not going to hear their phone. Now, we run into problems even as we grew that we get multiple calls at the same time. And so the best way to curb that is to have an answering service to pick up when you're not able to. This is real urgent when you need to reach your landscaper and communicate with somebody. Even if it's not the actual landscaper, it can at least relay the messages to them and get back to you in a timely, responsive manner. Number 2 is some landscapers find out that they're in over their head. Now this happens when they'll underbid a property, and instead of communicating and being clear with the client, they just start avoiding the client. This will be, I hear this all the time where a landscaper's real inexpensive, but they can't get a hold of them anymore. They just ignore them, and I never understand this. This easily can be resolved with just simple communication. If a landscaper's getting busier and landing more work, obviously they're going to go to the newer customer that is paying them better. So if you get a really great deal on a landscaper, sometimes the best way to resolve it is maybe even offering a slight raise, and that'll help them maybe communicate better if they're having trouble asking for the increase, and that you find yourself being ignored as a client. So that's one thing. And then the third is landscapers having staffing issues. Now we're running into this right now, just having a labor shortage. When unemployment rate is low, it's hard to find the staff to get all the jobs completed. So if you're having staffing issues, it's really about communication and scheduling. Things come up and you should be able to communicate with a client. So some landscapers, I'm not sure why they don't, but we've been really good about mitigating that by handling good communication with our clients via email, being phone calls. We'll even do text messaging if we have to. Number 4 is landscaper is doing extra work. Like, you maybe have a regular landscaper that does the lawn and the bushes, but then when you ask them to fix a sprinkler, maybe a broken valve, or cut down a tree or remove a dead bush, sometimes you'll find these guys that just they'll take forever to get out there to do it, or just not do it at all. Now this happens when you've got these dedicated crews. Maybe it's a one-man crew, two-man crew. Maybe there's a couple crews in a landscape company and they're already booked. And instead of having a supplemental crew, like we have a cleanup crew and an irrigation crew that does nothing and handles all our spillover work when there's larger projects that our regular crew that's already committed 8 hours in their day to their regular jobs don't have to necessarily do those bigger jobs, so that can be handled that way. And we run into that too, where we just hear that they won't do the extras for them. So, and the last thing is the type of landscaping. Now, just because I'm a landscaper doesn't mean I do all aspects of landscaping. We do lots of the landscape industry things, and we know people that do landscape things. So if it's not in our space, so to speak, like we don't do artificial turf, we don't do any hardscaping like installing barbecues and that sort of thing. Landscaping is such a vague word. It means so many things, and there's so many different additional and ancillary services that can be offered through our space. So I'm going to add a list on our blog. You can go to our blog at azlawns.com/blog. I'll even probably put a link for the direct blog for this video, and make sure that you see all the other ancillary services that relate to landscaping, that we make sure we have contractors that can handle those type of those spaces. So you have professionals that specialize in just artificial turf, pre-emergent, landscape design, tree fertilization. Now, a lot of these services we can do, but if you have a person that specializes in that space, you're going to get a better value. You're going to get a better service for your money. So once again, my name is Eli Hall. I'm with AMS Landscaping out of Phoenix, Arizona. Be sure to follow us on our Facebook page and at AMS Landscaping, our YouTube page at AMS Landscaping, and make it a great day.